There's me overseas, across the pond by the Dover Peaks. I've smuggled myself into new nationality.
Guys, this is Halfway, broadcasting from all the way around the world in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. In this video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about maybe investment opportunities here in Phnom Penh, maybe Cambodia, but specifically Phnom Penh. And primarily, I will be talking about real estate investment opportunities in terms of condominiums and specifically the mid to high end condos that you could be investing in here in Phnom Penh. As well as I will also talk briefly about just business in general if you wanted to start or invest in business here. But I'll get back to that in 1 second. Just in terms of the condos, as I've spoken to you guys about before in previous videos, I was working at a realty investment company that dealt with investing and selling real estate for condos. So most of what I was doing, my job description essentially was I was tutoring them to expand their English comprehension. But also in doing that, sometimes things that I would do would be maybe taking documents or literature that was very complex and kind of simplifying it and breaking it down and kind of describing the terms of what was being said in these documents. So along the way of doing that, I was afforded the unique knowledge of a little bit of an inside look into property, real estate, and investment here. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But before I share that with you guys, I just want to talk a little bit also generally just about opening a business here, starting a business here. I just want to briefly talk about that because the opportunity is so vast. If you compare starting a business here to maybe in the U.S., and I'm talking about the U.S. I guess specifically because I have more knowledge about the U.S. because I lived there predominantly my entire life. So I just know a little bit more about the inner workings and regulations in the U.S. In comparison to here or the lack thereof here. So first of all, starting a business here is going to be exponentially cheaper than starting a business in the U.S. Regulation is going to be significantly less. Documents and administration fees and anything financially or fiscally is going to be provided much more cheaply here. It's going to be much less expensive to do it here, as well as just flat out easier to do it here. Not to say that any business idea could work here or will work here, but if you have an idea for a business that's just something universal that could theoretically work anywhere, this is definitely somewhere that you might want to consider starting a business, especially if the reason you haven't pursued that dream yet is because of financial reasons, because you don't have enough capital or you don't have the investment opportunities to be able to do it. So that is definitely something I would think about. And if anybody has any questions that you would maybe like to talk about, feel free to email me. At the end of the video, I'll provide my email, or message me on Facebook, or leave a comment here. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that I have knowledge about, or if I can't answer them myself, I could talk to other people I've met since I've been here. A number of people who own businesses here in Phnom Penh, people who own businesses other places in the world, and also people who own businesses both other places in the world and here in Phnom Penh. So I have people that I could talk to. And if you're a little bit more serious about it, there are people that I could put you in contact with that you could specifically talk to about more specific things. But like I said, the main focus of this video, I'm going to be talking about the real estate market here, opportunities, again, specifically condominiums, and even more specifically high-end and mid-range condominiums. So I'd like to give you just a visual example of a little bit that's going on here in the city. So to do that, I'm going to show you some buildings, some things that are going up here. But I'm going to turn off my camera for a minute so I can use the other side of the camera and kind of specifically point out some things to you guys here. So bear with me for in your time. It'll probably be instantaneous. For 1 moment. So here we're looking at a little bit of the Phnom Penh city line from my balcony. And again, this is just going to be from my vantage point of what I can see. This is certainly not all of Phnom Penh, but it is an accurate representation of what is happening here in terms of real estate development. So if we look down my street, at the far end of the street, maybe you can see a building down here. It's covered in green mesh. Any of these buildings that you're going to see that I'm pointing out that are covered in green mesh are these new buildings that are going up. And the majority of them are new condominiums that are being created. So the first one that we see that there's one going up right over here to the top of it. If I turn a little bit more this way, we have number 2. We have, back in this corner, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and I don't know if you can see, but between this one that's going up and this white one in the back, you can probably see like a little corner of it. That's number 8 back there. We can see number 9. If we lean all the way over, we can see number 10, number 11, and number 12. And again, this is just right in my viewpoint of my balcony. So just to give you an idea of how much development is actually going on, you can see like physically with your own eyes. Let me go ahead and flip my camera around again though, so give me 1 second. Just to give you like a little bit of a visualization of some of the numbers that I'm going to tell you about here. So what we have here is, it's right now 2016 in September. So if we look at Q1 from 2016, we have about 1.65, almost 1.7 billion dollars of investment coming into Phnom Penh. Now, of that almost 1.7 billion dollars, roughly 50% of it was from China, which includes Hong Kong as well as Taiwan. So they're, in terms of the developers, they're the ones that are developing a large, majority or at least half of everything new that we see coming in. So again, that was about almost $1.7 billion from this quarter. Now, if we go back and we look at Q1 from 2015, it was somewhere around $448 million of total investment. So we see a year-to-year increase of about 265% or so of development alone coming into the city. Now, if we look at that development, if we look at the specifics of appreciation of value, we have across the board around 4% appreciation in condominiums. Now, specifically high-end condominiums, we're looking at about 5.7% appreciation. And I think even on the low end, it was around 3.8% appreciation. So just across the board of all these new condominiums that are going up, all of them are appreciating in value. And we look at projection of going into 2018, 80% of the new investment into the condos here, at almost 80% of that going into the mid to high range categories. So I think 44% is projected to be allocated toward mid-range apartments and 36% toward high-end apartments, or condos rather. So the point is that there's so much stimulation coming into the economy here. And not only are developers coming in, spending money and building these projects, even just in terms of the projects built, I think Q1 saw around 4,300 new units just in quarter one of 2016. 42 to 4,300 new units going up for condos, as opposed again to 2015. I think it was around 25 or 2,600 new units. So we're seeing a 40 to 50% increase in the new units coming in, as well as an appreciation of anywhere from 3.8% on the low end to 5.7% in the property value. So anybody who's in real estate, like, it's definitely something to look into. Like, this place is booming. Like, over the past 4 or 5 years, if you look at the trends, if you look at the population growth, if you look at the numbers, especially of things in the higher end market. Now, a lot of the condos that are being bought, people are living in these mid to high range condos in areas, a lot of them are foreigners. Definitely an opportunity here, with the growth that is happening. So again, I mean, if anybody has any questions about any of this, feel free to message me. Again, I can provide you with as much information that I personally know, or again, I can ask others, or specifically with the condominiums. Like, I have some really, really good contacts, and I could put you directly in contact with somebody if it's something that you're at all interested in. And I would highly recommend at least looking into it. If it's something that, like, you want to diversify yourself, you want to look into other markets and other regions outside of where you are in the U.S., like, definitely at least look into it. And again, I will provide you with as much information as I can and help out anybody that is looking to, for more information or whatever. But again, guys, I appreciate you tuning into this video. And as always, I'm coming at you halfway around the world. Stay easy, guys.